Let's talk about blood supply of brain and the brain stem. Here you can see a rough sketch of the arteries that supply the brain and the brain stem. In purple, you can see the vertebral artery, which is a branch of the subclavian artery, and then the anterior spinal artery, which forms by the union of two branches arise from the vertebral artery, and then the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. It is also known as pica. It is also a branch of the vertebral artery, and then two vertebral arteries join to form the basilar artery. And here's anterior inferior cerebellar artery, which is a branch of the basilar artery. It is called as ICA. And here are some small branches known as pontine arteries, which are also branches of the basilar artery. Here is superior cerebellar artery, which is also a branch of the basilar artery. As you can see, this is superior cerebellar artery, and there are two inferior cerebellar arteries. The basilar artery terminates by dividing into right and left posterior cerebral artery, not cerebellar. And this is internal carotid artery, which enters the cranium through the carotid canal, and it terminates by dividing into middle cerebral artery and anterior cerebral artery. Just like earlier, there are three cerebral arteries also, and these are cerebellar arteries. Here's the anterior communicating artery, which connects to anterior cerebral arteries. And here's the posterior communicating artery, which connects the posterior and middle cerebral arteries. And there's a small but very important artery known as labyrinthine artery, which supplies the inner ear. As you can see, here's a circle-shaped network of arteries, and it is known as the Circle of Willis, and it ensures continuous blood flow to the brain.